All right, guys. So Sunday night, it is March 7th. It's the Ketone Captain Team call, and great to see everybody on. This is recorded for those that didn't get to jump on live. And hey, no biggie. We're just here to recap the week and get ready for the new week coming up. I think one of the biggest things to discuss this Sunday night, Catalyst. Have you been using the Prove It Everyday app and doing all the check boxes? Have you been posting on a Prove It social media page, the company social media page? Thirdly, have you been connecting with people to get new customers? And have you been putting out the energy and the conversation around the business and talking about the opportunity? Because guys, also remember, a current customer that upgrades to promoter counts as a new promoter. So you can have a current customer in your organization that's wanting to upgrade to a promoter, and if they pay the membership and buy the brand builder mini pack or max pack, that counts as a new promoter. So just know it doesn't have to be somebody brand new. It can be an existing customer that upgrades to a promoter account. Okay. I think also one of the big things to remember also, Reboot kicks off next week. You have one more day to buy the Reboot kit. Always a great way to engage new conversations is the Reboot kit. I think the other thing is also realizing that the berry blue is still on sale. So that's another great conversation to have. And it's just, again, for a week coming up that you have to plan out, just kind of how do you engage people? How do you create curiosity? How do you, start conversation, all those kind of things. I think one of the biggest things that you can do is be creative in how you post on social media, right? Everybody's a parent. I think that is a given that everybody has some kind of go-to for a parenting post. I think that's relatable. Everybody has a go-to when it comes to getting off that pre-COVID time, whatever that is, that weight, that funk, that whatever. Like, I mean, starting a Monday with like, I'm ready to get out of this pre-COVID, this, I mean, I guess it'd be post-COVID scenario. Who's ready to jump on the bandwagon and get ready for spring? There's a lot of spring, boost your body for spring, get ready for spring, jump into spring, remake overs for spring. I mean, you can be creative at however you want to talk about spring and what that looks like for you. And it can be, again, you got to realize it's not weight loss, right? It's about just lifestyle. I think that's the biggest thing to help everybody kind of be relatable, and also to help everybody understand that there's so many different ways to relate to people. Better mood, better sleep, better muscle preservation, better digestion, better skin. I mean, you can name off a list of things just like that. Like, who wants, I don't know if you guys ever watched Jessie Lee, but Jessie Lee, every single time she talks about ketones, it's better mood, better sleep, better digestion, better skin, better muscles, better fat loss, better and it's like better, 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 better. You know where she gets that? Off of the company box. Like, she's not being crazy, smart, creative. You know what she does? She's like, oh, I'm going to read this. Read. That's where she gets it from. That's compliance. That's not made up. That's legitimate. That's legal. That's okay. So this is obviously Keto OS Pro, right? And I could just say, hey, enhanced absorption, reduced muscle breakdown, build more muscle, accelerated fat loss, increased satiety, improve recovery, boost immune function, bioidentical. Like, you can say all that. It's on the box, right? Like, don't overthink it. I don't, so many times we're like, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to say. Short and sweet, be real. That's what it comes down to. Short and sweet, be real. And that's what people want. Relatability. They don't want to be sold. They don't want to be convinced, and they don't want to be pressured. So the whole key to being relatable is being real on social media. I always say, you should have a Monday post, and everything can relate to ketones. I think just like tonight, my post was intermittent fasting with ketones, and now it's Communion Sunday, which I'm drinking wine, right? And I think that was just a funny little twist on Communion Sunday. But it was just, I had a chance to kind of plug ketones and also still talk about something other than ketones and being relatable to people that just Sunday fun day, right? Hashtag Sunday fun day. It's just enjoying life and just being out in, the nice, cool Texas breeze of what we're enjoying today. And that's ultimately what people are looking for. The more relatable you are. And I was just saying, I had a guy message me the other day, and I shared a story about a high school guy that messaged me last week. Well, this week I had a guy comment on my Facebook post that says, "Hey, Shane, I've been watching you for a long time. Back when you were with another company." That was 5 years ago. And he's just now contacting me because of the little post that I made about nutritional ketosis is hard. Drinking ketones is easy without having to do the keto diet. Like, that post clicked. I don't know what it was, but he's like, "Hey, Shane, I've been following you for a long time. Back when you were with another company, I'm interested in this. Can you send me more info?" Right? Last week's conversation with all of you guys was really about consistency. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. The more consistent you are, the more the people you're going to touch, because everybody has to be touched. Remember how many times I said? That's not one time. That's called 7 times. So if it's a Facebook post that they have to see 7 different times, it's on the 7th time the average person decides to finally go, "Amy, okay, I've been watching you. I've been following you. I got to figure out what these ketones are. Hey, I want that. I want whatever that is that you're doing." Does that make sense? Because I think that that's a huge aha moment, because a lot of times we look at the moment itself and be like, 5 people liked my post. 1 person commented. This doesn't work, right? Think about the self-talk you give yourself that kicks you right out of production. See, don't be negative Nancy, be positive Patsy. Like, that's kind of a funny little twist on terminology, but you want to be positive Patsy versus negative Nancy, because that's where you're going to be winning every day. Guess what? 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. This guy's been following me, I don't know, but longer than 5 years. I've been posting about ketones for 4.5 years. He just now messaged me. You don't know when it's going to be the right time, but you don't know if it's ever going to happen if you never post, or if you never talk, or if you never engage. So again, the biggest idea about how to win with this Catalyst Award, right? Last week, and Amy made up a good point. I'm talking about the long-term goal of 90 days. Amy was reassuring everybody, look, it's one day at a time. Let's win 30 days first. Let's win the 3 customers and 2 promoters. Let's win the everyday posting and on the Prove It Everyday app. Let's win on posting on the Prove It, company Facebook page every day. Let's hit the short-term goals to reach the long-term goals. There's all these things, and what we talk about, that the Keto Reboot is one way to engage conversation. Your story told a number of different ways can win the conversation. Again, guys, I've showed my before and after picture from 2013. That's 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Now, I was in nutritional ketosis, and I don't claim ketones were a game changer to me, but I was in nutritional ketosis. I had experienced ketones from a nutritional standpoint, and I related that to what I know now and how much easier it is now. That's why I said I'd rather work smarter instead of harder. And that's relatable. That's being real. That kind of hits home for people. Whatever that is for you, you take your story. Why are you here? That's ultimately what people want to know. Like, Carolyn, why are you here? Like, what did it for you? Like, have you put that story out there? Have you told people, like, guys, I don't know how to tell you, but I started drinking ketones and my life changed. What changed, Carolyn? Like, tell me what changed. I mean, I'm curious to know. It's those kind of stories. You got to be a little bit vulnerable, if that makes sense. Like, you got to be a little bit vulnerable to kind of put some stuff out there. But when you're vulnerable, that's going to hit home with, guess what? Lori, Amy, Melissa, Angela, because you're a woman and they're all women and they're all going to be, guess what? A mom, and they've gone through your shoes, or they've all had the sleepless nights, or they've all had the mommy hangover at 3:00 in the afternoon, or they've all had the frustration of just being a woman. I don't know, but I'm just saying is like the relatability of what you guys can put on social media without putting a 1,000-word essay, you can do in 20, 30, 40 words. And that's ultimately how long you have, right? We always talk about how long do you have to catch somebody's attention. Look at what your own habits are, and then think about the world that's around you. They're doing the same thing. So what catches your attention? Is it a word? Is it a sentence? Is it a picture? We're in the digital age of pictures speak 1,000 words because we have the scroll a second mentality. So how can we catch people's attention to get them to stop and read a 2-line sentence before they decide to go on past it, right? Let's have a little bit of share tonight. Amy, share a little bit about what it is that you're doing tonight. Where are you? What you getting ready for Monday?
Currently, I'm on got my kids eating popcorn in my bed. I'll be right back. Yeah. Keep them quiet. I wanted to share just quickly. Hold on, I'll turn my light on here. I was listening to a podcast today, Jessie Lee's podcast, the Bossly one. Or the People's Mentor is what the podcast is called. And she said something really interesting, and I've heard her say it again, but I was going to share it before, but I couldn't remember the ratio. So she talks about, I saw Lori had commented, how often do you power post? And her ratio was a 4-to-1 ratio. And so the 4 posts, so if let's just say you only post once a day, let's go, once a week or once a day for 7 days, the four of them should be about you. So making a list of things that describe you. If you're a mom, what kind of a mom? If you're into fitness, what kind of fitness? If you, where do you live? What kind of things do you like to do really specifically? And have those 4 posts have nothing to do with the business or the ketones, but be about you. And that's the piece that helps to attract people to you and to be paying attention. And then the 2 is 2 posts that kind of like allude to, but no direct call to action, not in your face, just kind of creating curiosity. Telling your story could be one of those. And then the 1 is like the power post, the hit them hard, the here's what it is, here's the problem I solved, kind of in your face. And what was interesting about that is, like she said, if you're somebody who posts a lot and multiple times a day on multiple platforms, you could do that every single day. You could do 4 posts about you, 2 posts that are kind of create curiosity, and then a power hitting post every day if you wanted to. So I just really loved her ratio and how to kind of think about what you're posting and how often, like kind of what your content is. So that was kind of one that stuck with me today and something that really made me think in planning out my week of posts.
Well, and everything that you've been posting lately, I mean, what have you seen? Like, what has really worked for you as a mom and as somebody that's really wanted to take this on a bigger role to be a really sustainable income and replace your, as a hairdresser kind of income? What would you say you've seen has worked versus what hasn't worked?
I mean, for me, connecting to moms who are at home And it's the content of, like, for me, I get a lot more engagement on the stuff that isn't necessarily about ketones, but it's bringing people to my page. And then for me, the posts that kind of are more creating curiosity get more hits than flat out being like, here's the business, come join me. Here's, I drink ketones, it does blah, 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 blah. It's more the posts of like, the energy to do all the things with the kids, or the, things that like, I mean, most of the people who are following me are moms. So, they want the energy. They want the, the craving control to not eat everything on their kids' plates. That kind of stuff is sort of what works for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Love it. Appreciate it. So Carolyn, give me a little feedback. What you got?
Nothing.
You're brand new.
I know.
Why'd you start?
Why did I start?
Why'd you start?
I needed to lose some weight and I needed some energy, and yeah, it's going great. So then now I want to push further, but I'm still learning. It's tough, but I don't know what to post, how to post it. And like I text Lori the other day, is how much is too much to post on your Facebook page? And that was one of my questions, because I felt like I wasn't doing enough, but I don't want to push it. So I didn't know where to go from there.
Okay. So let me help you with that terminology of push it. Okay. Push it is your own made up idea of what you think that people are going to feel when you're starting to share or talk about ketones, right? You have a fear of people thinking that you're pushing something on them. When in actuality, there's somebody out there that wants your information. There's actually somebody that wants to know what it is that you're doing. The idea of what Amy just shared was your aha moment to me. Seriously. I mean, the 4-2-1. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of different ratios out there, but 4 posts about you, 2 posts that allude to what you're doing about ketones, and then 1 post is like, guys, bam, this is what I'm doing. It changed my life. I started drinking ketones. I don't know how to explain them. All I know is that it did this, 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 and this, right? It's your story, and it's straightforward to this is it. That's ultimately where you're going to win on a weekly basis. That's a 4-3-1. I mean, a 4-2-1. That's 7 days a week that you get to. Now, it doesn't mean you do all 4 before you do the 2, before you do the 1. It's you do a 2, then you do another. It's like you do 2 about you, then you kind of elude, then you do another 2 about you, then you kind of elude, and then you do a ketone post, right? Or you do 2 about you. You do a ketone post, your power post, you do another one about you, you kind of elude about ketone. I mean, you realize you can mix up the 4-2-1, but that's just kind of giving you an idea of you want at least 4 posts about you throughout 7 days. You want 2 posts about, I'm kind of, guys, I've started eating not really a keto diet, but I'm drinking these ketones and it just feels amazing how easy my day is. You're not giving it all. You're right. I always say, don't put the cart before the horse. We've always heard that terminology. Don't put the cart before the horse. You're kind of teasing people on what it is that you're kind of alluding to, but you're not really telling them everything. You're just like, I'm kind of liking what I've done here. I've made a shift. I made a change. I've lost some weight. I've lost some inches. I have some energy. I don't know what this, I mean, this is so simple, right? That's what people want. What are people looking for? People are looking for 3 things in life: fast, simple, and affordable. Yes or yes or yes, right? I mean, it's fast food to health. What is fast food? Fast food is fast, simple, and affordable. It's fast because I drive up. It's simple because I order and I drive up to the window and I pick it up. It's affordable because it's cheap, right? It's dead nutrition, ultimately, is what we say. It's just calories. It's empty nutrition. It's dead calories, but you're getting calories, and it sufficiently fixes a need of feeling hungry to not feeling hungry. So it's fast food to health with a side benefit of enormous healthy lifestyle alternatives is the best way I like to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever would, I mean, there's a great way to put an analogy of like, even a post of be like, who wants something that's fast, simple, and easy? Or who wants something that's fast, simple, and affordable? If you could get your health done for under $5, would you be interested? Like, I think that's the biggest thing that, I always love to pose questions to people. Like, who loves chocolate chip cookies? Who loves going 7 days with no carbs? Like, I mean, there's two different contrasts in that, right? Who loves chocolate chip cookies? Woohoo! You're going to get a million hands raised, and a million is like, oh my gosh, I have such an addiction. And then you know what your next post is like, I found the alternative to my chocolate chip cookie addiction. Doesn't mean I gave them up. It just means I have something to help me control my cravings. It's like this, you get people to relate to you, and then you give them an alternative. You give them a solution. So if you think of yourself as a solution-based leader, that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I give people solutions. I don't tell them what to do. I give them options. How many of you, when you discipline your kids, you discipline your kids by saying, if you do that, you're going to get this. If you don't do that, then you're going to get this. So you give them what? You give them a choice. You're not telling them what to do, but I'm telling you, if you choose to do that, you're going to get X, Y, Z. You're going to get this consequence. If you don't do that, well, then you're going to get your iPad back faster, right? It's the same way with human nature and adults. How many of you want better health? Or how many of you want to experience longer life of having to go to the drugstore and stay on blood pressure medication? I mean, I don't know how to specifically say. I need more terminology in my head to kind of line that one out. But when you give people choices, it makes them think. See, when people have to think, then they get to make their own decision. How many of you can say, oh, yeah, that makes sense to me? Like, I mean, when I get to make my own decision, that works because I'm choosing, right? Somebody's not choosing for me. I'm choosing. Hey, Keon, great to see you on. You got some background noise. I'm going to mute you out real quick, buddy. So anyways, let's jump on. Lori, what do you have to kind of give feedback on this today?
Yeah, I love it all. I just think I'm just absorbing everything that everyone's saying. And I love the posting and the lifestyle posts actually really intrigue people too. And I'm with you. I like the questions because it creates interactivity with people instead of just a statement, right? So, and the other thing too, I was listening to is I want to point out, just because somebody doesn't make a comment on it, take a look, you guys. And if you have any likes, that's interest. And do you know how many people that I have signed up on my team by them even going a like? And I go in and I say, thanks so much for liking my post. What was it that you liked about it? So again, there was another question. And guess what? Half of them have signed up. So it's not the people who create the statement, it's the like posts or the love hearts. So I kind of wanted to put that out there. This week for me is going into my team and checking in with them. And I really am working on getting them, free products. That's up there in my week on that. So yeah, that's about all I'm going to do this week. Of course, I put the product out there and looking to enroll, but I also really am excited about this offer from corporate. What a fantastic company to keep looking after everybody like that.
Yeah, and the offer that you're talking about is a catalyst offer where, guys, if somebody brand new comes on and they get at least three new customers and 2 promoters, and their check is not at $1,000, the company will do whatever it needs to do. Add $200, add $150, add $300. Let's say you make $700 for the month or the commission period. They will make sure and top it off so that you end up at $1,000. There's $1,000 guaranteed to people brand new that start right now on the Catalyst Challenge. That's what that $1,000 means. The $500 is guaranteed to anybody that's already in the business. Okay. So everybody's guaranteed $500 if you do 3 customers, 2 promoters, you post on the Prove It Everyday app, you post on the Prove It Facebook page, you're guaranteed a $500 bonus at the end of every month just for doing that. At the end of 3 months, you do that for 90 days, there is a $10,000 bonus after 90 days. If you do that every single day, that's their $10,000 bonus after 90 days. So March, April, May. That's what you're going for. Okay. Anything else, guys? Melissa, do you want to jump in, say anything?
Hey, sure. I'm just clean. We just moved a couple days ago, so I'm frantically trying to put stuff away while I'm listening.
Ah.
My big thing is, well, I kind of dropped off for a while there. I've just had a lot going on, so now it's just really focusing on getting back into it and being plugged into the community and doing all these, all the things that I have to do to qualify. And I've just been brainstorming on ways to get more engagement with my posts on Facebook and trying to figure out how I can get it out there to more people that haven't seen my posts already. I know I want anyone who's seen it already to see those posts, but I also want to get out there to people that may have not. So I'm thinking what if I on top of social media, what if I make a poster and stick it on the bulletin board in Sobeys or using other social media. And then I've just been trying racking my brain all the different ways I can get creative. I just have had that in my head since you said it the other night. So I'm trying to find my creativity here.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is to realize is that you have I would say, let's put it this way. You have a 5-to-1 ratio of connecting with somebody in your warm market versus connecting with somebody in your cold market. I don't connect with people very good in cold market, which means we have no relationship. I do not know them. We haven't built a relationship. I mean, this is just be like putting your poster up in Sobeys, right?
Right.
For whatever reason, cold marketing is so hard to connect with. I don't have an answer on how to do that because that's just not a stronghold of mine, other than I would just say people buy relationships, they don't buy products. Remember that.
Right.
People buy off of education. People buy off of experience. People buy off of, I talked to Carolyn and she told me about this ketone product. I know it was something that she was really excited about. Man, she had great results. I can't remember what it is. And then she's going through the grocery store one day and she sees something that says exogenous ketones or ketone, fuel or drink ketones or something like that. And all of a sudden it's going to cue, right? They've talked to Carolyn probably 3 or 4 times. They've seen her post on social media. They're finally walking through the grocery store and they see it. Again, how many times does somebody have to be touched, right? It's see, listen, watch, hear, whatever, and then they make that decision. So I'm going to ask you to be more creative on the side of connecting with people that you have a relationship with, or that you have people that are already drinking ketones and connecting with their warm market. Remember that the warm market of your customers is the people. So if I were to sign up Amy, okay, and Amy's warm market now becomes my warm market. Why? Because I have Amy to relate to her warm market. So Amy now has me in her back pocket to say, hey, I don't know all the science of this stuff, but let me get you in connection with Shane, who does know some of the science, who does know more about it than me, right? It's always that third party validation. I think that's always a big key. But that's what also social media is for, where you tag people and post. Hey, Caroline, I was really thinking a lot about you today and what you said about you were just wanting to try to find some more energy. Here's a great post about just people that have had some amazing experience around the energy aspect side of it. Lori, I know you're really into the science of the ketones. There was an article that was just posted about how exogenous ketones help people with cardiovascular heart disease. Let me tag you. I'm going to tag you in the post and let you read it. Tell me what you think. Like, that's what you should be using social media for. That's how you create curiosity. That's how you drip, right? When you drip on people, it's that constant little reminder, right? How many people have been dripped on by a raindrop? And the first time you're like, well, that was weird. That felt funny. And then you're dripped again and you're like, okay, I think it's raining. And then you're dripped again and you're like, okay, what's going on, right? Like, I mean, you don't automatically one drip go, oh, it's raining. No, it takes 3 or 4 drips. And by the 4th or 5th drip, you're like, okay, now I got it. Now I'm looking. Now I figured it out, right? I mean, that's classic example of just because you post once, just because you have one conversation, doesn't mean somebody's going to make that immediate decision. It's a constant drip, touch, reminder, checking in. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Remember that.
Right.
So does that help, Melissa?
Yeah, it does. It does. My other thing too is when somebody just one sec, honey. When somebody reaches out to me and says, okay, I want more information, like I have a girl right now. I'm always worried that I'm going to screw it up when I respond, because I'm like, obviously I know them and we make conversation, whatever, but it's like, oh, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to come off too salesy. I don't want to not say enough. Like, I just get too much in my head. So I guess that's part of it. It's like, oh, yay, somebody's reached out. Oh, but Kate, I got to make sure I play my cards right.
Right. And that's, again, you're in your own head. You are. So here's a very simple way. And I'm telling you guys, I've done it. It's been 4.5 years. I just showed Angela the other day. I just had somebody message me, and I literally for 4.5 years, this is what I've done. I said, hey, Dwayne, so great to hear from you, man. Thank you so much for the message. Here's a great, simple little link that you can watch a video on to learn more about ketones. And I send them my experienceketo.com link. Why? Because it plays the video, and underneath it says request a 5-day sample. They put in their name, their information, boom, bada bing, done. I didn't give them science. I didn't give them nutrition advice. I didn't give them ingredients. I didn't give them anything other than they ask, and I sent them directly to the source. They got them right to the answer that what it is that they're looking for. That should be your go-to every single time. Amy,
can I jump in with one other?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to add one other thing to that I think is really helpful too. And Lori put it in the chat kind of as I was thinking it. A really good place to start too. Like, I love the videos, and I talk too much when I get chatting with people. And so I like those because it just explains what needs to be explained. But I also really like asking very simply, either what Lori had said, what are your goals? Like, what are your health and wellness goals? Or what can I answer for you? What questions do you have for me? Hey, here's a link. It's a couple minutes, watch it quick. And then I want you to ask me questions, because then I can answer specifically what it is you need to know. And I found for me, that's been really helpful in not talking too much to people about things they don't care about, right? Maybe the only thing they care about is, how do I buy? How much is it? Maybe they want to know, like, okay, well, I'm on this medication. Can I take this? These are my goals. Is this going to help me? This is my problem. Can you solve my problem? Right?
Yep.
So
That's
yeah,
great. That's great.
Thanks, guys. I'm gonna try that.
What else? Anything else specifically? Keon, do you have anything?
No, I'm good on my end. I've just been focusing on my personal business lately. Hello, everybody. And yeah, just taking my time and doing it at my own pace. Kind of had a reset with this whole self-employed business thing of mine. But aside from that, I'm selling and teaching where I can, when I can, and all this craziness.
No, it's awesome. No, I get it completely.
Yeah, thanks for checking
And that's
in.
ultimately it, man. I mean, people fit, we would say you fit in where you get in where you fit in, right? Get in where you fit in. It's your business. You get out of this what you put into it. I've always said that, guys. Get out of this what you put into it. Nobody's holding you to a timesheet. Nobody's telling you that you have to do a certain amount or you have to do a certain quota or that you got to meet this or that. This is up to you. You get to determine what your day looks like. You get to determine what your output looks like, and you get to determine what your income looks like depending upon your activity. Simple. I mean, you are it. You are the deciding factor. So again, ultimately it comes down to, and again, personal growth in this industry is as big as anything. Why? Because people will talk themselves out of it faster than they can get themselves into it. They just will. They'll talk themselves out of it faster than they can get themselves into it. Why? Because they get one or two no's. One or two no's. And they're like, nobody wants to do it. Everybody said no. No, remember, they said one or two no's. Everybody says no, right? They use the terminology. Everybody says no. Nobody wants to do it because they got one or two no's. Rejection is hard. People feel personally rejected. It's not you. It has nothing to do with you. It's the fact that those no's because they're just not ready. They don't know enough. They haven't been educated enough. They don't have enough experience. They don't have enough knowledge. They don't have enough to say yes. So why did somebody take over 5 years to message me about ketones? They didn't have enough information. So that's what it comes down to. Don't give up on your dreams and your goals and your desires, whatever that is, big, small, medium, whatever that is. Anything is possible long as you continue to stay consistent and in the game. So you want to close out with anything, guys? Amy, Lori, Carolyn, Melissa, anybody? Y'all want to close out with anything?
Oh, I think I'm good. That was really good.
Okay.
Thanks for the call. Is this an every Sunday thing now?
It is. We're back on our Sundays.
Talk to Daddy.
Okay, good.
Is everyone
I'm
doing
so
virtual
happy.
Keto Academy this weekend or coming weekend?
Yes. Oh, thank you, Amy. Thank you. That was one of the things I meant to talk about tonight. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Yes, Virtual Keto Academy. Keto Academy is all about the education. So if you guys want to learn for you personally, and you invite friends, it's only $27. $27 to have an all-day course from learning from doctors about ketones and ketosis and the ketogenic diet and all that. It is $27. You can watch it online because obviously it's only online, but it's phenomenal. Keto Academy, I've been to every in-person Keto Academy for the last 4.5 years that they've been able to do them in person. We were doing twice a year. So I think I've been to 5 Keto Academies because they're phenomenal. I mean, it was always a 2-day event. The scientists and the doctors that they would bring in and the validation of the information that people were sharing was just invaluable. Not because I could go share it on social media. That's not what it was about. It was because it just gave me that much more belief in how real this is. And that goes back to, Amy, I think, what we were talking about earlier, the new medical study that just came out about exogenous ketones helping people with cardiovascular heart disease. They don't even recommend the ketogenic diet. In fact, they say the ketogenic diet is actually harmful because it is so restrictive. So guys, I mean, the information coming out is phenomenal. I mean, this is truly blue ocean. And what that means is there's nobody in this space that's doing what we are doing. If we were trying to talk about a protein shake, I was at Walmart today walking around, and I'm not joking. The first thing I see, I walk down the aisle as I walk in through the main entrance and hang a left. I turn left, and there's a big kind of like, you know, in the middle of the aisle kind of, you know, stand of what? Keto-friendly protein shake. Like a whole rack of keto-friendly protein shakes. It's all marketing, right? Could you imagine if we were trying to pitch a protein shake? I mean, this Keto OS Pro is a support product to our NAT ketones. This is not the end all be all. This is a support product. But we have NAT ketones. That's the win. So anything else, guys? I hope that makes sense. I hope it was informative. I hope you guys like the Sunday night call thing. We're getting back on track with them. And again, guys, hey, the more the merrier. So invite your team. Really encourage your team to come on board and just, again, hey, whether they show up or they don't show up, it's great. It's just a matter of those who want to show up, we're here for you. So just remember that. Anything else? We good?
We good. Thanks so much, Shane.
All right. You guys have a great Sunday night. Let's rock Monday morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.